Okay, before we get started with actually spinning, what I want to do is show you how to hold the poi. You might have one of two grips. Maybe there's some other options. These are the common ones. You might have the kind that have the loops in it, in which case you can either just string them across your either middle two fingers, or first two is pretty common. And then you're spinning kind of just from your fingers. This is some people prefer this. This is not my style, but you might find that this is the best for you. Other way to do this is to go the other way. Flip it around, and then you're going to flip the entire thing around and probably hold on to the tether with your thumb and index finger for some fine control. Still same idea. The other and more common style of handles you're going to have are these knob style, where it's simply just some big chunky thing on the end of the tether to hold on to. And basically you got three options. One, make a fist and have the knob on the outside here, and you're probably going to do something similar where you have fine control thumb and index. The other way is to hold on to the knob itself, kind of like this, and then the other bottom three fingers aren't doing much, but you're still probably pinching the tether here for some control. The other way is kind of my default, and that's to hold the knob in the palm of your hand here, gripping it with your bottom two fingers, and then you hold on to the tether, again, thumb and index finger. The truth and reality of poi spinning is you're likely going to be kind of going through all of these throughout the course of you flowing. So let's back up and let's actually get started spinning now. Mainly, actually, one more thing before we get going. I have just one more small thing, and that's to actually hold this with the grip. I guess if you have the kind of the style where you have loops around your fingers, your grip isn't going to be entirely relevant because you're not really gripping the handle here. For these style though, super important. You need to have a nice relaxed grip, and basically, I hold it as tight as I need to hold it so it doesn't fall out of my hands, and that's it. I don't put anything extra on it. I don't want to be flexing the fist here. You get tight in your grip, in your fists, you get tight in your forearms, tight in your shoulders, and everything looks really robotic, and you get tired real quick, and nobody wants that. So that's first fundamental number one, is we have a nice relaxed grip. I'm going to face the camera either forward this way or probably off to one of the sides, depending on what I want to show. But we're going to start spinning. We're going to pretend like we got two narrow hallways, narrow passageways on either side of us. And that's where we're going to try to keep the poi for now. So we got a nice relaxed grip, nice relaxed posture and body. And we're going to spin them what I'm going to call forward. In other words, like towards the camera, coming kind of up from the back and forwards. Like I'm throwing a ball or something like that. I want to keep a nice relaxed pace. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what this looks like from the side. Nice and relaxed. And I'm not putting a whole lot of energy on it either. That's the other point here, is I'm just putting enough to keep it going around. And it's kind of like bouncing a basketball or swinging on a swing set. You know, you don't try and force it around the entire time or throw the ball at the ground as hard as you can. You just give it enough juice to keep it going. And that's all we're doing here. And if I slow this down any, you could see how little I'm actually putting on it as the tethers kind of go slack. I'm only putting just barely more than that. Right? So, and we're spinning in on either side of us in a forward direction. They're spinning at the same time. And I'm going to introduce the first two vocab terms for you. That is timing and direction. We use timing and direction to describe the poi's relationship to one another. Right? Right now they're in the same timing, going the same direction. I could change all that, and I could say I want one to go the opposite direction, but I'm going to keep the timing the same. What are we talking about with timing anyways? Timing, let's just pause for a second. When you see that I'm spinning the poi, they're carving out this circle, right? This circle with both poi here. And I need to keep track of how many circles, how many rotations, when does it do a rotation? And let's pick 6 o'clock. Let's pretend they're carving out a clock face. And let's pick 6 o'clock as the marker we're going to check as to when it passes that point. We're going to call that a beat. We use 6 because it's easiest. It's where gravity is and where we feel it. And so whenever this passes that 6 o'clock point, I'm going to say that's one beat. And I know they're at the same timing, right? They're going in the same direction because I can see it. I know that they're at the same timing because they're passing 6 o'clock at the same time. That's what I mean when I say timing. So if I wanted to go, let's say forward in the left hand, I'll kind of stop my right hand and I'll do whatever I need to do. Maybe you got to stop and kind of really rack your brain for a second to get this to go backwards. Let's go left forwards, right backwards, but the timing is the same. They're hitting that 6 o'clock at the same timing. And if I was ever unsure what kind of timing I was in, let's just exaggerate the movement, and I can see that my hands are kind of moving up and down. They're bouncing towards that point at the same time, right? So I know the timing's the same. They're in what we would call the same timing, opposite directions, right? I have other timings as well. Let's go back to where we're spinning same direction. Again, nice and relaxed, keeping the poi at our sides. They're same time, same direction. We can also go split time, same direction. This is probably the most common that you're going to see and that you're going to flow with is split time. And in this one, when one's up, one's down, they're moving in opposition. When one's at 6, one's at 12, one's at 3, one's at 9, so on and so forth. Again, if I was not sure of what timing I was in, let's exaggerate this and I can see that my hands are not bouncing up and down at the same time. They're kind of like I'm running or walking or something like that, right? And I can again do this in same direction split time. I can go opposite direction split time. And practice this, go through all of the variations. Right now I've only kept the left hand going forward and I've changed the right hand, but let's change it up. Let's go right hand forward this time. Split time, same direction. Let's make the left hand go in reverse. I can go same timing. I can go split timing, right? I could stop the right hand and go both in reverse at the same time or in split time, right? So make sure you go through all of those variations. Let's go forwards again. And this time I want to turn towards the camera. Before, we talked about timing and direction, and we're going to talk about a little bit about planes now. I kept the poi next to me in these narrow channels or hallways or whatever you want to visualize. We call these poi planes. And this plane is called wheel plane. It's like I have two big wheels on either side of me. And we use planes, remember we use timing and direction to describe the poi's relationship to one another. We're going to use planes to describe the poi's relationship to us, the spinner, the performer. And when I have the poi spinning at my sides here, no matter what direction I'm facing, this is called wheel plane. The other one is when it's perpendicular to wheel plane. It's called wall plane. It's like there's a big wall in front of me. And in fact, you could probably practice this at home. Practice keeping your poi in the plane that you want it to be in by actually going and standing up against a wall and seeing just how long you can spin this and not hit the wall for, right? Maybe practice this one at a time. You could practice this for wheel plane as well. And notice that I didn't have to do anything except turn my body to change from wheel plane to wall plane. You might have to just mess around here. We're not going to get too much into the poi lanes, right? You can see that my tethers kind of should be crossing. They visually look like one's going in front of the other. And that's because from the side, they kind of are. They're not actually crossing. I'm adjusting so that they have space to move. That's a little bit more advanced. We'll cover that later. But for now, just know that there's wheel plane and wall plane. Let's go back here. I'm going to turn again to the side. And let's actually do something a little bit more fancy than simply spinning at our side. I want to just pretend like the poi are huge extensions of my arm. Now I want to get full reach, full extension. Just like I'm doing a forwards crawl in swimming or something like that. And so the motion that I'm aiming for is I just want to make these big circles. I want to make them bigger and bigger until I'm suddenly kind of here. And you can see once this gets a little faster, I need to have a bit more of an athletic posture. And really, you probably don't want to do this for too long because it's going to get a little unwieldy, a little tiresome. The point is I want to maintain this relationship of opposition, right? When it's nice and small here, not too difficult. Once it kind of gets a little bigger, you really have to focus. And in fact, this is drill number 1. This is homework number 1. Go and practice this. You don't even need poi to do this next drill. What I want to do here, let's face to the side. Have a nice athletic posture. Let's kind of put one foot in front of the other. I'll put the right just for reasons. And let's have right hand forward, left hand back. All right? We're going to simulate as if we had the poi and we're trying to get this forwards crawl going. What I want to do is just stop at some checkpoints, see where I'm at, and adjust if I need to, right? So we're right here. We got this nice T position. And how I want to start is I want to have my shoulders, my upper body rotated, feet the same, upper body rotate so I open up the shoulders, right? So we're here. I'm gonna rotate a quarter of a circle. Left arm goes up, right hand goes down. I'm gonna turn my upper body to face this the side direction now. And this is the first checkpoint. We were here, we rotated, and we turned. I'm gonna still face this direction, keep the motion going here. Left hand's gonna come forward, right hand back. Again, when I do that, I wanna rotate my upper body, open up the shoulders, get this nice T position. Let's look back, do a check. Yep, we're nice and level. Rotate further, left hand down, right hand forward, and we're gonna turn back towards front now. Okay, let's look and check, make sure that we're not here, but we're here. Finish the rotation, upper body turns, and we're back here again. So once again, all the way through, here, 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 and then here. And you can do this as slowly as you need to. The goal is to be able to kind of put it on this nice continuous motion. Okay? Where maybe you speed it up and you have less time in between checkpoints. The goal here is to get this continuous motion. Okay? And the other thing here too, let's actually turn and face the other direction and do the same thing, but instead of having my arms go forward, I want them to keep going in that direction. They're gonna go backwards now. So we started here. Right foot forward, left foot back, left hand back. Let's rotate our body. You can even move the feet this time. Let's turn the feet the other way. So our left foot is now this direction, left hand this direction. All I wanna do is rotate to this, right? So same idea, my upper body is turned towards the camera. I wanna open up. I keep this rotation, turn the shoulders to the side, do a check, left hand is up, and we got a plane. I live near an airport, surprise. We'll wait for it. So we're here, let's do a check, left hand is straight up. I don't want this, we want this, right? Let's continue. Upper body turns, so our shoulders open up. Continue once again. We're here, let's do a check. Right hand is vertical, left hand's down. Upper body is turned in this direction. We continue the rotation and we're back here to where we started. So again, practice this. You might need to do it slowly at first, making sure that you have your arms in opposition. You're hitting a nice level, arms out to the side. You're hitting nice straight up and down. And you're rotating your body, opening up the shoulders. Again, the goal, have this nice fluid motion. Now the next part of this, you might have noticed, hopefully you noticed, this position when we were going in reverse is exactly the same as this position when we were going forwards. Only difference is my feet are different, right? So that then means is that we can connect all of this stuff. Before we were here, going in what I was calling forwards. And then when we were here, all I did was twist my feet and we went backwards with it. So that means if I simply rotate my feet and keep them in a place that doesn't make my body twist itself in half, that means I can continue this entire thing. Stop here if you need to. Continue the motion, get your bearings once again. Right? And that means that I don't have to just face this direction either. Now that I'm facing in reverse, hey, guess what? It's the same thing as this. All I did was change my feet. And I can continue this motion. And I can turn at any point with this if I wanted to. The whole goal here is to keep your arms in opposition. Get used to how that feels. Get used to how it feels to open up and turn with it. I think this is a really fantastic drill to get that down. Next, we want to add in the poi. Let's do the same exact thing now, except using the poi. Before, I guess it doesn't really matter how you start. We'll go left foot forward, right hand, or sorry, let's start that over. Let's go left foot forward, left arm forward, and we'll go right back, right? Let's start at the side, actually. Let's start at the side, actually. And we want to let's make bigger and bigger circles until we're once again this old familiar, exciting position. And just as before, except we can't stop at those checkpoints. It's the whole reason we did that drill. Instead, let's turn with it, right? You might just do one rotation, but get used to this, just how this feels when you turn with it. And you might only get a few of those in before you kind of get tired and before things get a little wonky. That's kind of the ideal goal. Just get used to how that feels to be able to turn with it as your poi are spinning. From here, all I'd like to do, let's, once you've kind of practiced that and got that down, once you feel like that's good, let's move on to the next part. And we're kind of getting to the end of part 1 of this tutorial series. All I want to do now is, as these are going around, and I'll use the left hand because that's one in front. All I want to do now is simply pause or slow down the motion at 9 and 3. Oh. And what's going to happen is the poi is going to continue, but it's going to make a smaller circle. Right? We call these flowers. And if you want to get technical on a vocab term, these are called 2-petal in-spin flowers. Right? They have 2 petals. We call them in-spin because they are spinning in the direction that our arm is spinning. Right? And I need to be able to do this with the left and the right. So again, we'll start with these big circles and just slow down the motion of the poi at 9 and 3. What I'm not doing is trying to manually make circles at each point, right? I'm not doing that. All I'm doing is literally just slowing down the motion or even stopping the motion in some cases. You really want to get a nice fluid motion through the whole thing and letting the momentum carry it. I might give it a little bit of juice just so it makes it through, but really I'm lazy and I don't want to put any extra effort that I need to on it. And it's the same for backwards and forwards. We need to be able to do this both ways. So just like before when we were doing this drill, and then we said, hey, let's just turn our feet and do the same thing. Let's do that with this drill. So before, we were here, right, facing this direction, poi spinning that direction. Let's turn our feet, feet are facing this direction now. We're gonna go backwards with it, and it's gonna be the same exact thing. I'm just making these big circles and then pausing it at 9 and 3 o'clock. Same exact thing, okay? Once you feel like you have it down with one hand at a time, we need to put this all together and do both hands with it now. And so we were here before. We were doing these big circles. We're just gonna stop at 9 and 3 and do these 2-petal in-spin flowers. The goal should be that they are kind of meeting the center around the same time. And our arms are staying in this opposition. From the front, looks something like this. So we started here, made these big circles, and then we just slowed down the momentum at 9 and 3. And just like the other drill, we need to be able to do this both forward and reverse. So we can stop for a second, we can pause. Let's get back to what we were doing. We were making these big circles, or we started with these smaller circles, got them bigger and bigger, and so we were here. And then we're just going to stop the momentum, stop the poi at 9 and 3. Again, I'm not trying to make circles happen. I am simply slowing down the momentum and the poi kind of do the rest. Same things that we worked on in the drill though. Nice and relaxed, nice relaxed grip. Keep our arms in opposition, twisting the upper body to keep your shoulders nice and open. And I think that's probably a good place to stop for the first part of this series. Really work on these drills. I think they're gonna be really useful, especially this one. Practice this as much as you need to. Practice going from one direction to the other and turning with it. In the next video, we're going to do exactly that with the poi. We're going to start to turn with it, work on crossing the poi back and forth across our body. So stay tuned, and thank you for getting this far.